So hello there people out there in the YouTube land. Today I watched a very special movie for me. 2004 Van Helsing by Stephen Sommers. This one has a very special place in my heart because it's one of the first horror movies you could say that I watched. And one of the introduction movies to my love of the horrific and macabre that saturates my movie taste to this day. So I rewatched this thing for the first time after 5 years, I'm pretty sure, and I thought it would be proper to do a review of it and see some of my general thoughts. So let's start off with what I feel is the most important part of any movie, the characters. You can have a great script, you can have a great actors, but if there are no character writing, then what's the point of watching a movie? So the characters in this one is on concept form pretty cookie cutter. They're your standard strong female lead that does strong female lead stuff. There's a strong male lead that does strong male lead stuff, and there's their quirky sidekick that is quirky and maybe horny, maybe both, who knows. And a standard heroic side character that helps the heroes get through the day and save the day, and a villain that likes to do villainy because the actors or the actor just learned that he could be so over the top as he wants to, and he's gonna live it through to the next paycheck on that. So, and yeah, so on paper, this movie is that character-wise, but the creative team does an attempt at making them more than that. They do a push to make them more than that, and I feel that it succeeds. It doesn't succeed 100% all the time. This still never leaves the regular studio adventure movie territory when it comes to character writing, but it's better than most basic ones, I would say. Anna has her story with the ocean, and I feel that the actress does a good job portraying that, so you really feel what the character feels about that, how she feels about this whole thing with her family, the nightmares of Gabriel Hugh Jackman's character, all of that with his torment and his dreams of ancient battle, PTSD trauma. I think that comes across pretty good. So even though I feel that this character has a lot of good things going for it, I also feel that Gabriel has a lot of unused potential as a character, because they talk a lot about the hand of God, and the left hand of God, and there's this connection to Dracula and the fact that he has memories from Roman period wars and all this stuff, and it's really interesting stuff, but it's never brought to its fullest potential, I feel. And that's really a downgrade of this movie, that's never really explained. Maybe that was an idea for a sequel, I don't know. But that sequel is never made. I know that this was Universal attempt at rebooting the old Universal monsters once again and getting them to big screen audiences again. But that never happened. I don't really know the story about it. I think that this one didn't pull in enough money to justify one or two sequels that they needed to keep this one rolling. And so if it was that, well, that's kind of a downgrade of the story, because a good story needs to stand on its own. I don't feel that a good story should have answers like, oh, wait for a sequel. No, a good story should have the answers in the story, or leave it a mystery. Yes, and in this case, yes, a good mystery can be good, but I feel that this doesn't feel like a good mystery, it just feels underdeveloped. And it could have elevated the movie a lot more if they would have developed that part of the story, would have developed this, because a hero and a villain needs a deep bond, I feel, to make that interesting. You need that connection to them too. You can't just have them be hero man and villain man. That doesn't work out. And this one has a great attempt of making a connection there, but that connection is underdeveloped. So it still at the end kind of becomes villain man and hero man fighting because good and evil, because the world is black and white and there's no deep connection. And that undercuts, I feel, a lot of the weight that the creative teams try to push on this movie with these scenes that I mentioned earlier. Even though I still think that those scenes are well made. So let's move on with the story to the story of this one, because the story of this movie is cookie cutter, but I feel they make a creative attempts to not make it cookie cutter, and they succeed. The problem I have is that some of these attempts that I find very creative on a concept level isn't as flashed out as one is the gay bro thing, of course, as I mentioned before, and the other one is the wife giving birth. I really like the concept of Dracula's spawn being like dead and you gotta bring it to life. I really love that, but it doesn't feel as flashed out as I want it to be. It kind of feels undercooked in a way. As I said, I really like the concept. It felt really creative, but the problem is that it felt, as I said, undercooked and not really explained in a satisfactory way. And I mean, I like what they did with Dracula. The actor is kind of too over the top at some points, and that kind of drags it down. But overall, I really like it, and some of the overtopness I really do like as well. It makes for some really entertaining scenes. And they're not entertaining in a so bad it's good way. It's just entertainment, I think. But and the wives could have used more character development. They were really uninteresting characters for such an interesting concept, I feel. So overall, I would say it has a good story that they didn't really execute to the fullest extent. So overall, is this a fun adventure movie that I would recommend you check out, even though it's undercooked at certain points. That could annoy some people, but I overall really like it.